Using the loppers at Forest School. Now loppers are a really useful tool to cut smaller diameter wood. Again, we're looking at green wood. They work much better with green wood, fresh wood from the woodland that you can harvest. And they're really useful for children who maybe are just starting off using the tool. So you can introduce them as a fairly early on in the process. Loppers are unusual because we don't need to wear gloves when we're using the loppers, and the reason for that is because both hands are working hands. Both hands are holding part of the tool, so they both need a really good grip. And they're also unusual because it's the only tool that we tend to stand up when we're using. We're going to cut this piece of hazel. So there are two ways of doing this. Either you can lean it up against something so that it gives you access to the piece that you want to cut, or potentially if you're working with a partner, they could put a glove on and they could hold the stick for you while you cut it, as long as their hands are far enough away from the blade. I'm working on my own, so I'm going to lean it up against this log here. When we're carrying the loppers, it's very important that the blades are pointing down, and what we tend to do is hold the underneath handle, the lower handle, and then we have the blade pointing down to the ground. So if you are moving around, it means that if you do fall, the blade's going to go into the ground and not towards you. And that's the same with these ones as well. Different design, but the same process. If you hold the top handle, what tends to happen is that blade will swing open and then you've got an exposed sharp edge. So always hold the bottom handle when you're transporting the loppers. So I'm going to use these slightly larger loppers to make my cut. I'm going to stand next to the wood, and again with the children they can stand and you can do this with them. So you can, with young children, support by putting your hands over their hands to help them initially get the feel of using the tool. Be careful about feet, legs and also other people. So we're thinking about our safe working distance, which is obviously further away with the loppers than it would be with a smaller tool, because it's the length of your arm plus the length of the tool that you're using. When we're ready and we're happy, just pop the piece of wood into the blade as far as you can so that you get good leverage, and then just press together. As soon as we've finished using the tool, again, we're just going to go back into the tool bag, stored safely away for the next use. And that's how we use the loppers safely when we're working at Forest School.